Welcome to Project Spark here at Gamescom 2013. We're a platform for people to build, share, and play video games. We've tried to really open up the doors so that everybody is a creator. So this is the Sculpt Add tool, as you can tell, and he's using it to carve out the gameplay space. Very quickly, he's modifying the terrain in such a way that he can have some nice platforming elements. He's decided, hey, I'm going to scrub back a bit and use our undo system to kind of carve things in a different way than he originally intended. And you can see this is kind of ripe for the picking. Our cylinder brush really lets you kind of build that multi-tiered gameplay to kind of hide out in or kind of jump up to. He's now going to switch over to our tunnel brush, and our tunnel brush is going to let him kind of build this play space with little alcoves, maybe places things people are going to hide in, and kind of shape the world as what he wants. What's important to take away from this is we offer you all the tools that you need in order to build whatever story you're trying to tell. Are people hiding out in those caves? Are there big evil monsters? Do you want something that reaches to the sky? We've got all those tools to build the world the way you want to. Bradley now, as he's kind of finishing up, is going to switch into our next tool, the Roughen tool. And the Roughen tool that he's about to show you kind of warps the world in a way that makes it feel like it's windswept, like it's carving out dunes, and it just kind of modifies things to give it a much more organic feel. And you can see he's just very quickly going over, he's holding one button and just slowly feathering it where he needs to. It's a very easy tool set to use. None of this is complex, it doesn't require a ton of training, it's really fun, and creating itself is fun. He's now switched into paint, and you can see we've got a bunch of paint sets. He's currently using desert dunes, and he's painting on some sand. All he's doing is holding down the trigger and just painting away, and it just happens to so magically do the right thing. You'll notice the sides do sedimentary layers. It's actually doing the right thing on the side. He didn't have to go in there and do the details. He can just trust his brush and it'll do the right thing for him. This lets him build the palette really quick, but even quicker, he can switch into our nature biome brush and start to paint not just the terrain, but drop props. He's got rocks, he's got trees. He's got a lot of magic coming up to break up the silhouette that didn't require a lot of effort. What's more important too is as he gets to higher elevation, it starts to decide I don't need to paint anything there because there's not going to be any rocks or props. He's now switched over to the woodlands biome, and he's dropping really, really big trees. This is dictated by the scale of his brush. If he moves it down, he can now start to drop smaller trees, smaller brushes at a much smaller rate to kind of control things. The finer control you want, the finer props you're going to end up getting. You can see it mesh nicely into our desert biome. Everything blends as you think it would be. He's now going to switch into river and kind of give a nice little cross section through. It's going to delete props that don't make sense. It's going to put a nice little cobblestone underneath. And you've got a very realistic looking environment with very little effort. So he's shaped a really, really beautiful world. And now he's going to go explore in it. So looking through this, everything he just built is playable. The birds still fly. That troll's probably still a grumpy. Yeah, he's going to prove it. And you've got a very vibrant world. But where's this gameplay? And this other troll that talks about where you're never going to get my coin. Well, of course we're never going to get it. I can't find it anywhere. Let's fix that. We're going to move into our prop mode, and we're going to pick up that troll, and we're going to make him kind of do something more realistic. He's probably going to be more closer to that outcropping, something more secure. And he's probably going to have friends. So he's going to end up having maybe a couple of sentries, a couple of bruisers, and of course there's the guy leading the pack, the boss at the end of it. We're going to put him up at the top. So that's great, we've kind of got Troll Mountain, but this doesn't really feel intimidating. So we're going to go into our properties library, and we're going to end up grabbing a bizarre skull. The skull comes in at a very tiny scale, but we can allow you to scale it up. Better yet, you can rotate it. Even better, once he's done positioning it, he can smash it into the mountain, however deep he wants it, and make himself Troll Rock. To make it even more menacing, Bradley's going to go into our effects menu, and from here he's going to end up going and picking a fireball to give it some real teeth. Or instead of teeth, maybe I should have said eyes. So in doing so, you can give it that nice glowing evil rock. You can see how artists would have a lot of fun in this, just building something pretty. It doesn't even need to be a game, it could be art. Luckily we've got Bradley Reeb, who's both a designer and artist. So in doing this, he's now gonna finally put a coin down. He reaches into our assembly library. Our assemblies are a combination of props and code that somebody's already built and put together. And this happens to have one that is a coin, with a nice little script treatment at the end that I'm going to save for later. So right now Bradley's going to go into test mode and test out the creation he just made. He goes up and he sees that there's a outcropping of trolls, and he's going to try his hand. That one troll was pretty easy. he's gonna see how it plays with 4. In doing it, 4 trolls start to gang up on him, and Bradley's really good, but I don't know if he's good enough for 4 trolls, and his life meter's kind of agreeing with me. So we're gonna try and make things a little bit more balanced. How many times have you played a video game and said, man, that was great up until that point where it really sucked. I wish I could have made that better or easier or more difficult. We allow you to change things, and what Bradley's about to do is change the brain on our default player. I'm gonna go into the programming language, but first we're gonna start here with a creator brain. This is a custom brain we've built with some really neat powers. This is our brain programming language. We offer you full programming capability in a very easy to use language. This is our version of a Microsoft research program called Kodu. It's built on a very simple idea called when, do, cause and effect. When left stick, do move. That makes a lot of sense, right? When there's left stick input, move. When A pressed, jump. Again, I'm gonna press A, I jump. Like, this reads really well. Kodu is aimed at school-age children, and it's been getting very good adoption, and it works marvelously in our product, and that's why we're using it. So now we're gonna showcase one of our features for Gamescom. We're gonna go into the troll, and the troll has got an emotion he plays, which is he's angry you're trying to take his coin. One of the things we're showing is an early preview release of some new tech we've got in, which is Kinect recording. So I've got a Kinect in front of me. I'm not just dancing crazy because I'm a little bit out there, but I can do this, and it's gonna take motion capture of my skeleton and play it. Bradley has clicked to receive it, and I'm gonna make a stomping mad troll. Ah. It's got mouth operation, so it can open and close, and it can find that perfect spot where it's like, Rrr. And from here, he can end up choosing whatever scene makes sense, cropping it, playing an animation based on it, go into our cropping editor, and choose that perfect section of where it makes sense. I love it when it speeds up because it looks awesome. From here, he's gonna find that perfect sweet spot of where it looks good, take it, apply it to our troll, and we can play it back in game. He can save it, share it, use it in other levels, use it, other people can download it and use it themselves. We offer a lot of flexibility with this. Most important, this offers full body, facial animation, and it also does sound capture. We also offer sound filters for making things sound like monsters, like goblins, all sorts of fun things. So now we're gonna go test out our new brain that we just put, as well as the new animation we just put on there. So here he is, and he's doing my crazy talk dance. So there you go. Now we're gonna go in and check out these trolls, but we've got a new power. This is the creator brain. The creator brain lets you shape terrain as you're in play mode. So what you might think is a create-only tool actually isn't. You've got full power into it in play mode. Bradley's using it to corral the guys, make sure that they can't harm anybody, and he's also using it to scale his way to the top of the mountain. And lastly, he's got a superpower to finally deal with that last nasty troll. He's now gonna grab the coin, and that triggers this new end event. This new end event, which is tons of flaming meteorites. With that, Bradley's gonna ride off into the sunset, and we're gonna showcase our last feature for Gamescom. People have asked us, how big are your worlds? What's your limitations? We'd like to introduce a feature set called Infinite Worlds. As you reach the end of the world, it starts to scale and grow based on what your requirements are. In an individual world, we allow 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers used in whatever shape and dimension you want. And with addition of level linking, you can have infinite worlds stretched across any episodic content that you'd like. And this stretches on for kilometers and kilometers. And for those people who are still like, that's great, but it's a little bit too complicated, we offer you another mode, which we call Crossroads. Crossroads is kind of a way to create with a series of very simple choices. So if you're like, that's great, I'm too old, or I'm not interested, I don't have enough time, we offer you a palette of 3 easy choices at any given time to shape your world. We're gonna let you choose mountains, rivers, canyons, a variety of others, and we're gonna build the world. We're then gonna paint it. Do you want desert? Well, you've just seen desert. Arctic's pretty as well, but I think we might end up with forests. So we choose forest, and it just starts to paint and build the world for you. You can choose your time of day. Is it night? Is it morning? Is it day? We're gonna go morning, and we're gonna start to build out that world right before your very eyes. In doing so, you're not actually realizing you're building a game, but you are. You're playing a game with a couple of easy questions that at any point you could press start, go into edit, and change anything about. In the meantime, we're gonna offer you things such as, where's your hero's home? Is it a thatched hut, a windmill, a tavern? And wherever you place it, we're gonna make sure it places it smart. This looks like it's intersecting, well, we're gonna level that mountain for you, right? Little city planning for you. Then we can choose your hero. Is he a fighter? Is he a goblin hero? Do you wanna shuffle it up and try something different? You've got options. This is a very important choice. This is what's your quest? In this case, do you want to find the objective? Do you want a hack and slash adventure where you've got to go fetch something for somebody? Do you want to have a defend the village kind of siege quest where you've got to kind of keep your village protected? Do you want to string these together to kind of form chapters in your story? We're going to go ahead with the find the objective, and it's going to start to carve out the first path along our way. You've got props dropped, you've got characters, you've got objectives, you've got storyline. All this is being built behind the scenes, so you don't have to, and you're right in there playing a game. You're being told to visit your neighbor. You're able to then go in and start talking to them. We've got interactive dialogue. If you don't like it, go in and change it. If you want to put some funny jokes in there, go right ahead. And immediately we say, well, that's great, but where's your end quest? Do you want to go to this fortress, a ransacked village, a quarry? And whatever you select, where do you want to put it? You can move it close, far, keep it right there, and then drive a path to it. We also offer you what we call side quests, which are a neat way to kind of add some spice to your level, some things that aren't necessary, they're completely optional, but they add vibrance to your world. After drawing the path, you're going to end up having bridges drawn for you, you're going to end up having new creatures to deal with, you're going to have NPCs you can help out if you'd like, and side quests along the way. This is a very easy toolkit to build games, and this is the easiest by far to build that adventure that you've always been wanting for. Here's our first side quest, and we drop you a couple of options. Do you want a circle of stones? Do you want pumpkin farmer? How about the squirrel ranch? My personal favorite. And in doing so, this is going to lead you some neat narrative choices. Don't anger those squirrels. Or are you going to anger the squirrels? Bradley likes to tempt fate. Yeah, so we don't recommend messing with the squirrels because they'll get you. But it's fun. It's however you want that story to be. So in doing this now, he's going to go back on the path, deal with the goblins that are there, pick up coins, start the adventure. You guys could change this. If you don't like goblins, you could make them massive squirrels. You could make them other heroes. Any of our other creatures that are available to you, you could change them, change their AI. And then in going to this, we're finally at the quarry. This is our end zone. Who's your enemy? Is it a haunted scarecrow? Is it a flame knight? Is it a fallen ranger? Each of these characters is built using our toolkit. None of this is magic that you guys can't touch or create. Even better, you can take this flame knight who looks really cool, copy and paste him, put him in your level. Bradley Reeves is using his superpowers. And you can use him however you want. Deal that epic damage. Go in there, change his damage that he deals you, and have that final scene that you've always wanted to. And with the magic I just showed you of Kinect recording, you can make your own custom attacks. You can make your own machinima that would happen, cinematics, etc. So Bradley now has just finished this quest. You're now able to pick up a key and use the treasure chest and finally get that victory that you were looking for. At this point, you're able to save out the game, edit anything you'd like. We're going to teleport you back to say you finished the quest, and you've just built your first game without really realizing. None of that looked like you were creating a game, but you really were. And this is completely your own. It's different every time depending on what you do, what choices you make. What we're going to show you now is some games that we have made with this. And I want to show it to you to kind of break the mold, right? People sometimes look at our game and go, oh, so you build third-person action adventures. That's what your game does. Well, sure, we're very good at that. But we also built some very unique, very interesting titles. Once every 3 weeks, our team takes 2 days off and does what we call a game jam. We use our own tool sets to build games like Suspension. Suspension is a great little game that we kind of paid an homage to a game that we really, really liked back on the dev team. You might recognize. It's Limbo, right? 2D side scroller, very dark. Art style is very different, although you can tell it's still our same old trees in there, right? We've managed to tweak exactly what we've got using our existing tool set and offer it up to the community. The community now can download this, remix it, change it however they want. But in the meantime, they've got a very nice puzzle action adventure that you've kind of come to know and love. Bradley's gonna hop into, oh, where's Bradley going? Okay, he's going to Gladiator. Gladiator is the next level we're gonna show you. And this is a very interesting twin stick shooter style game. So top down, fixed camera, run and gun, make sure you stay alive. We've got power-ups, we've got scores, we've got timers, all your kind of gaming tropes built into this. And the best thing is, some of these work best as example tutorials to you. You go in and you say, how do they build that timer? How do they build that kill until upgrade screen? How do they do that fireball? Well, copy and paste that into your own levels. Learn from the best creators out there and become one yourself. This game has got an upgrade meter. You're gonna notice that his red fireball is gonna change in size and scale and color, as well as damage. Right now, we've got little camera pulls and cinematics. There's this green thing. So you get a lot of power out of this from very little work. You can do some very interesting games with very, very little effort. Bradley's going to now switch into Goblin Wing, which is yet another complete different departure. A lot of us are fans of the game Pilot Wings, and we wanted to see how can you do a flying game in our game. And the answer was really, really well. So Project Spark is very, very powerful in terms of what you can create. You're really only limited by your imagination. And while I realize that's cliche, you have to realize how much imagination some of these guys have to come up with this stuff. It's amazing what people can pull off. Furthermore, I don't know if I've already covered this, we're playing this right now on an Xbox One. There's no reason why you couldn't play this on an Xbox 360, a Windows 8 PC. You can upload it and then download it, play it, edit it, reshare it, etc. as you see fit. On the Xbox One, and you'll notice this if you go to the show floor, we have Smart Glass set up there where you can see what our Smart Glass story is. And furthermore, if you're interested, we've got behind closed door presentations. Sign up for them. We're more than happy to take interviews on that kind of subject. And yeah, come check us out. JoinProjectSpark.com is where you sign up for the beta, which we'll be announcing, so come check us out. Any questions, folks? No? It was all good? Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.